Hello and assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome back. I warmly welcome you to my YouTube channel. Uh, as you know, we are reading Paradise Lost Book 1. I'm here again with a few more lines of Paradise Lost Book 1. I hope that you all are feeling great. You are feeling very well. Uh, may you stay blessed. May God protect you from every calamity. Uh, so, we have been reading Paradise Lost, that is an epic poem written by John Milton. There is no, uh, you know, counterpart of Paradise Lost in English literature. So this is such kind of work as has got no match. It is a matchless work of literature by John Milton. So far we have read 405 lines of Paradise Lost, Book 1, and now we are going to study a few more lines of, we are going to read a few more lines of Paradise Lost, and I hope that in the previous lecture, in the previous a few lectures, you have got a full understanding of whatever I have taught you, and I hope in future as well that uh, you will be taking a lot of guidance. You will be learning a lot of things from me. Uh, for that purpose, I would need your support and prayers as well. Okay, in the previous few lines, we learned that Satan calls all his legions, he calls all his fellows, and they raise their heads from that lake of fire. And the chiefs of the devils join Satan on that dreary land where Satan was standing. Okay, well, that dreary land, that dull land is alongside the lake of fire. Okay, and Satan uh, is standing there, and all the legions join him there. So there are chiefs, there are chief devils who join Satan. And these devils, as Milton tells us, these devils were given names, different names by human beings. Okay, as a matter of fact, they have lost their identity in heaven. Their names are no more memorial in the book of life, that is in heaven. But uh, afterwards, when they started wandering on earth to find their victims on earth, the human beings gave them different names and started worshipping them as their gods. Okay, the heathens, the pagans started worshipping them as their gods. So the first god, the first devil who has been introduced to us by Milton is Moloch. Okay, the Moloch was a king, a deity before whom children were sacrificed. Okay, and Milton tells us that he is besmeared with blood and the tears of parents. He is completely wet with blood and completely wet with the tears of parents. Okay, because children were sacrificed before him in order to oblige him, in order to please him. So that was a heinous act, a horrible act done by the people, done by the human beings, only to oblige, only to please, a bestial god. Okay, bestial means beast-like. Well, a devil as a god can always be a god who is a beast-like god. Okay, let's read a few more lines of uh, Paradise Lost. Okay, uh, So we are going to start from line number 406. 406. After Moloch, next Chemos, the obscene dread of Moab's son, from Aroer to Nebo, and the wild of southmost Abarim in Hesbon, and Horonaim, Sion's realm, beyond the flowery dale of Sibma, clad with vines, and uh, Elail to the asphaltic pool. So here you can see that so many words have been highlighted uh, because these are the names of different places. Okay, next Chemos. Well, who was Chemos? You can see here. Chemosh, a Moabite deity to whom Solomon built a shrine according to uh, King James version of the Bible. Okay, so he was a deity uh, that was worshipped by the Moab's sons. Okay, Moabite is actually um uh, a civilization. Uh, it is an ancient civilization in Jordan. Jordan, that is a country in Western Asia. Okay, so Chemos was the obscene dread. Okay, the Moab's son, the people of Moabite were afraid of him because he was the obscene dread of those people. From Aroer to Nebo. Aroer, in modern language, it is rare, as you can see here, and it is a place in Jordan. And to Nebo. Nebo is also a southern Moabite town, also the name of the mountain from which Moses first glimpsed the promised land of Canaan. Okay, well, Milton tells here that Chemos was worshipped from Aroer to Nebo, and the wild of southmost Abarim. Okay, Abarim is a hill of western Moab, overlooking the Jordan and the Dead Sea. Well, it is the name of a hill. In Hesbon, in modern language, it is Heshbon. In Heshbon and Horonaim. Okay, Heshbon and Horonaim. These are also two cities in Jordan. Sion realm. Okay, Milton has used the different spellings, but it is Sihon, 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 and he was the king of the Amorites. Okay, and Amorites are some states in Western Asia, beyond the flowery dale of Sibma. Sibma is a region east of the Jordan famous for its wine. Alile, a nearby city, it has been mentioned here as well. Sibma and clad with vines. Milton also tells here that this city is clad with vines. Okay, and Alile is a city again in Jordan. To the asphaltic pool. Asphaltic pool is the Dead Sea. Asphaltic pool is the Dead Sea. Milton tells here, well, all these places have been mentioned here. In fact, Milton wants to signify that Chemos was worshipped all around the Western Asia, and he was a famous deity he was one of the most worshipped deities of Jordan. Okay. Milton further says, Peor, his other name. His other name was Peor. When he enticed Israel in Sittim. Okay, his other name was Peor. It can be asked in the paper, it can be asked by the examiner, what is the other name given to Chemos? So it is Peor, 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 Peor. His other name, when he enticed means tempted. Okay, Israel in Sittim. When the Israelites were uh, uh, going somewhere, when they were marching from Nile, okay, they were tempted by Chemos, and the Israelites began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab at Shittim. Okay, this is again a name of place on the flight from Egypt to Canaan. Well, when they were going to Canaan from Egypt, they started committing adultery. They began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab at Shittim, and they were in fact tempted by Chemosh. Okay, and because of his temptation, they indulged in such sinful activity on their march from Nile to do him wanton rites. Okay, they did rituals in order to please, they performed rituals in order to please Chemos, which cost them woe. Which cost them woe means that which caused them misery, which resulted into a great calamity for them. They were punished for that when they committed adultery, um, when when they indulged in adultery, when they began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab at Shittim. They were punished for that, and this thing caused them uh, woe. This thing brought misery for them, pain for them. Okay. Yet thence his lustful orgies he involved even to the hill of scandal by the groove of Moloch homicide, lust hard by hate, till good Josiah um, drove them thence to hell. Okay, so yet thence his lustful orgies. Well, Chemos enlarged his lustful activities even to that hill of scandal. Hill of Scandal is the place just east of the Jerusalem temple across the Kidron Valley, often called the Mount of Olives, where Solomon erected shrines to pagan deities like Moloch, Baal, Chemosh, and Ashtoreth. King Josiah, according to King James Version, destroys these abominations. You can see here quite clearly that Hill of Scandal is a place in Jerusalem where Solomon built shrines for different gods, okay, different deities. So that hill has been named a hill of scandal by Milton. So Milton here tells that his orgies, his activities were enlarged to Jerusalem as well by the grove of Moloch homicide. And his shrine, his temple was also built alongside the temple of Moloch, where murders were committed. Homicide means murder, lust hard by hate, till good Josiah drove them thence to hell. Well, here is a reference, a biblical reference again. The king of Judah. Josiah is the king of Judah, who drove them thence to hell, means that the king of Judah destroyed all these deities, and he drove them thence to hell again. Okay, so this is all about Chemosh, who is another devil, who is another chief of the devils, um, and he was given name Chemosh by the human beings, and he was worshipped by human beings in Jordan, in the Western countries, in Aror, Nebo, Abarim, Hasbon, and many more places have been mentioned here. All right. Next, after Chemosh, Milton says, with these came they who from the bordering flood of old Euphrates to the brook that parts Egypt from Syrian ground had general names of Baalim and Ashtoreth. Okay, well, Milton tells that after Chemosh, two types of devil appear. Their names are Baalim and Ashtoreth, and they are known throughout the Western Asia, and they are known in Egypt and Syria. Okay, Euphrates are rivers in Western Asia. So Milton wants to uh, tell the readers that Baalim and Ashtoreth are known in Western Asia, as well as they are known in Egypt and Syria, and their general names are Baalim and Ashtoreth. Okay, well, both of these are general words to refer to types of male and female pagan deities found in the region that is now the modern day Middle East, especially Syria, Iraq, Israel, and Jordan. Okay, these deities are particularly famous, they are particularly known in these countries: Syria, Iraq, Israel, and Jordan. And those male, these feminine. Okay, Baalim are male, Ashtoreth are feminine. For spirits, when they please, can either sex assume, because they are spirits, they are devils, and they can assume any sex, are both so soft and uncompounded is their essence pure, because uh, their bodies are uncompounded. They are bodiless. They don't have any body. Therefore, they can change their shape. They can change their sex. They can assume any shape or sex whenever they choose. Okay. Not tied. Well, it is tied, not tried. Not tied or manacled with joint or limb, nor founded on the brittle strength of bones, like cumbrous flesh, but in what shape they choose, dilated or condensed. Okay, not tied or manacled with joint or limb. They are not tied, they are not chained. Manacled means chained. Okay, with joint or limb, they don't have any joints or limbs. It means that they are not bound as the human beings are bound as per their body structure, nor founded on the brittle strength of bones. Okay, their strength of bones is not like human beings, hard but easily broken, like cumbrous flesh. Okay, nor founded on the brittle strength of bones, like cumbrous flesh. Cumbrous in modern language is cumbersome, that means large and heavy, difficult to carry. Okay, they don't have any cumbersome flesh that is difficult to carry. But in what shape they choose, uh, they can change their shape, they can assume, or they can disguise themselves in any shape that they choose, dilated or condensed, whether they enlarge themselves, whether they widen themselves, or they condense themselves, means uh, they shorten their size whenever they choose. And also they can become bright or obscure. They can become bright, or they can darken themselves. They can execute their airy purposes, and works of love or enmity fulfill. Okay, while choosing any shape, while assuming any sex, they can execute their airy purposes, and they can perform the works of love or enmity. They can fulfill their purposes while doing all these things. For those the race of Israel often forsook their living strength, and unfrequented left his righteous altar, bowing lowly down to bestial gods. Milton says that for these devils, the Israelites uh, often forsook their living strength. They abandoned their living strength. Well, living strength is God. Okay, living strength, it is an epithet for God of Israel. They abandoned God, they forsook God, they renounced God, and unfrequented left his righteous altar. And they did not visit God's altar, they left it unfrequented. Unfrequented means not often visited or traveled over. Uh, the place that is not frequently visited. Okay, so God's altar. Okay, God's altar became unfrequented. Okay, bowing lowly down to bestial gods, and people bowed themselves before these bestial gods, beast like gods. Okay, for which their heads as low, bowed down in battle, sunk before the spear of despicable foes. Okay, their heads were bowed so low, for which their heads as low, bowed down in battle, sunk before the spear of despicable foes. They were completely under the influence of devils. Uh, they were completely overpowered by the very unpleasant or evil enemies. Foes means enemies. With these in troop came Astoreth. Okay, Astoreth, whom the Phoenicians called Astarte, Queen of Heaven, with crescent horns, to whose bright image, nightly by the moon, Sidonian virgins paid their vows and songs. In Sion also not unsung, where stood her temple on the offensive mountain, built by that uxorious king, whose heart, though large, beguiled by fair uh, idoltresses, fell to idols foul. Okay, Milton says that with these in troop came Astoreth. Okay, whom the Phoenicians, the residents of an ancient Middle Eastern civilization. Okay, Phoenicians are the residents of an ancient Middle Eastern civilization. Uh, they called her Astarte. Okay, Astoreth was given the name of Astarte by the Phoenicians, and she was thought to be the queen of heaven, and she had crescent horns on her head, to whose bright image, nightly by the moon, Sidonian virgins paid their vows and songs. and before her bright image during the night, when the moon when the moon was shining brightly, Sidonian again, Phoenicians, virgins, Phoenician women, Phoenician girls paid their vows and songs. They sung songs for her. Uh, okay, in the night. They sung songs for her at night. In Sion, also not unsung. Sion, Israel's promised land. Uh, that is a holy place that was seen by Moses. In Sion, also not unsung. It means that she was also worshipped in Sion. She had an influence in Sion as well, where stood her temple on the offensive mountain. Okay, her temple was also built on the offensive mountain. Well, previously Milton mentions hill of scandal. Here he mentions the offensive mountain, presumably the same site as the hill of scandal. So Milton has given two names to that particular place where the temples of these devils have been built by Solomon. Okay, here is again a reference to Solomon, uxorious king. Okay, the offensive mountain built by that uxorious king. Well, her temple was built by Solomon. Uxorious, that is Solomon, who had several hundred wives. Uxorious king is Solomon, who had several hundred wives. Milton tends to link adultery with idolatry, as did the biblical authors in the expression whoring after false gods. Okay, whose heart, though large, beguiled by fair idoltresses. All right, so Milton again's you know uh, compares adultery with idoltresses, as here we can see that Milton tends to link adultery with idolatry. Idolatry means to worship idols. Okay, idolatry means the worshipping of idols. So in the worshipping of idols, Milton finds adultery. Fell to idols foul. Okay, so Astarte has also been introduced. She is the queen of heaven with crescent horns on her head, and she was worshipped by Phoenicians. Okay, by the virgins of by the Phoenician virgins in Sion as well, where her temple was also built by Solomon, who has been mentioned here as a glorious king. Okay, Thomas came next behind, whose anvil wound in Lebanon allured the Syrian damsels to lament his fate in amorous ditties all a summer's day, while smooth Adonis from his native rock ran purple to the sea, spoused with blood of Tammuz yearly wounded. The love tale infected Sion's daughters with like heat, whose wanton passions in the sacred porch Ezekiel saw when by the vision led his eye surveyed the dark idolatries of alienated Judah. Okay, so Tammuz came next behind. The next god to appear is Tammuz. He is the lover and spouse of Astarte. Okay, whose anvil wound in Lebanon and lured the Syrian damsels. Well, it was believed that he is wounded anvily because of love, because he was a lover. Whose anvil wound in Lebanon allured the Syrian damsels and allured the Syrian women, Syrian girls, to lament his fate, and they lamented his fate. They sung hymns. They sung hymns of sadness. Okay, songs of sadness for him. They lamented for him because he is wounded annually. In amorous ditties all a summer's day. Okay, they sang amorous songs. Ditty, a short simple song. The plural is ditties, means short simple songs. In amorous ditties all a summer's day, they used to sing songs for him uh, all a summer's day, while smooth Adonis from his native rock ran purple to the sea. Adonis is the Lebanese river Adonis, red with mud in the summer. Well, this river became red because of mud in the summer season, during the summer season. But there was a superstitious belief of the people that the red color of this river was due to the blood of Tammuz, who was wounded annually. While smooth Adonis from his native rock ran purple to the sea. Okay, well, its color was purple, and it flowed to the sea with purple color during a summer day or summer season, supposed with blood of Tammuz, and it was supposed by the people that its color is purple, its color is red due to the blood of Tammuz, who is yearly wounded. The love tale infected Sion's daughters, and his love tale also infected Sion's daughters, Israelites women. Okay, Israelite women with like heat, whose wanton passions in the sacred porch Ezekiel saw. Well, these women's passions were seen by Ezekiel. Ezekiel is a prophet. Okay, in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, Ezekiel is acknowledged as a Hebrew prophet. Okay, he is a prophet, and he saw when by the vision led his eyes surveyed the dark idolatries of alienated Judah. Okay, he saw their dark idolatries. Idolatries means again, idolatries means the worshipping of idols. Okay, alienated Judah. Alienated means that is alienated from God. Apostate means completely cut off from God or religion. Okay, alienated means alienated from God. So Judah is actually a tribe. Okay, this is the name of tribe, and the name of tribe, this tribe has been given the name after the son of Jacob, whose name was Judah. Okay, uh, Judah was, according to the book of Genesis, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah, the founder of the Israelite tribe of Judah. Okay, in Urdu we call Jacob. Alright, Yaqub alayhi salam. Okay, Judah was the son of Yaqub alayhi salam, Jacob, and the tribe Judah was named after him. Alright, so this was all about today's lecture, dear students. I hope that you understood each and everything, because I tried to explain each and every word, each and every term that has been used by Milton. Uh, Hopefully you have understood it very well. Inshallah, see you tomorrow with some few lines of Paradise Lost. We will read the text of Paradise Lost, inshallah, book 1. Okay, and I'll try my best to make you understand it properly. Thanks for listening it. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Stay home. Stay safe. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.